have your population and this time election. Why I am giving you all this perspective? All information on the slide will be made available to you, but perspective has to be understood. The entire election process was driven only on one basis, that 150 million youngsters are the new voters. And if your media campaign and if your connect is not proper with this 150 million young generation, you are not likely to get the votes. 80% people have voted. The demographic dividend of the country, that your 60% or 70% population is below the median age of 35. So you are going to have a real tech-savvy generation where you can really take the technology to its best for their purposes. And despite all that, you have seen that the inclusion is hardly about 58%, that is 40% is the exclusion. I travel and I am on the board of International Banking Federation. I feel extremely uncomfortable when I find that many of the developing countries, I am not talking about the developed countries, many of the developing countries, the exclusion rate is below 10%. And in those countries, developed countries, if the exclusion is below 1%, 2%, 3%, they are equally committed to financial inclusion, they are equally committed to financial literacy, they are equally committed to customer protection. And thus we in India probably will have to work extremely hard to see that we make this challenge as an opportunity and really deliver. Well, the banking network has expanded substantially. I will not waste time on that. Okay. Oh, it's not okay. Fine. The payment systems in India, transaction percentage, you look at the pie chart for yourself. I think the cards is very nominal, prepaid instruments. Now let me tell you, all these channels, if you can really customize properly. I remember we introduced a prepaid card in Union Bank in 2008, if I am not wrong, as a gift card. But then simultaneously we had the fancy idea of rolling the payrolls, using this for a payrolls, and using this kind of a fee in Central Bank of India. Believe me, I have given 3 lakh prepaid cards to the girl students of Chhattisgarh for receiving their scholarship. They are the reloadable prepaid cards. And I am sure that number must have increased. Many banks have, like Union Bank has gone into cashless campuses, where every transaction in the campus is happening only through the cards. Whether you buy a samosa or a cup of tea or paying through card. I mean, those kind of applications you'll have to really take on and on basis. I think all these numbers I will not read because I know I will have to wrap up in next 10 minutes. I like to spend some time here. Now, this is what hurts me when I look at the past earnings. Well, if you really want to get into the less cash society, how can we really make usage of POS terminal as comfortable as cash? Let every shopkeeper be ready to receive either through swiping a card on the POS terminal or through a mobile card. If I go for buying a bread in the morning, every one of us are giving example of M-Pesa in Kenya for the last 5-10 years. I am a part of NPCI, a first board member. Since then I am living. And it's true, I have experienced in Kenya, the people pay for their vegetable buying and all through the mobiles. Yesterday, I was so happy when the banking secretary said, "Hey, yaar, you have launched that RuPay card on the 8th of May in president's house and all that. But you are not giving the RuPay card. No, should we not be the proud country? We are the third country who have got their own branded card. Now, if you want to drive the country's pride, should not every account holder have only RuPay card, be it only for a domestic transaction? In any case, RBI has asked you not to give the international transaction to every card holder unless he asks for. Why not every individual has only a RuPay card and flashes RuPay card when he operates? I am not here for promoting any company or anything, but I am here for promoting the nation's pride. And I think these kind of wonderful ideas, when they emerge in the discussion, I thought I must share with you at a platform when all of you collectively are going to discuss throughout the day. How can you make the Vision 2014 successful? Let me tell you that all the trade bodies are talking in terms of India at 2022, when we do 75 years. 2022, am I right? So everyone is there. So why not you all talk of the Vision 2022 rather than Vision 2014? You are already in 2014. When you talk about vision, it has to be long term. It can't be today. So Vision 2022. Let you be the initiator for this and let every other player in the technology think on those lines. But this POS terminal is a great ATMs. Yes, when we did not have ATMs, all of us used to crave we should have ATM, we should have ATM. And we have expanded ATM. We have reached almost 1,45,000, it may be 1,60,000, and it is as of January, it is more than 1,60,000. The problem is that we tried to go on OPEX model, absolutely correct, outsourcing. Rajini, who is Rajini? Somebody, she sent me a good mail yesterday. She's not here, okay, fine. She sent me a good mail and she wanted me to talk on the outsourcing part, and I'm pretty convinced. The way you talk of cloud computing, why everybody should create a capex? Let the capex be central to the system and let the players operate on OPEX model. The philosophy behind the OPEX ATMs was excellent. All of us agreed. Well, don't take me to the various bureaucratic issues in that. Fact remains that most of these ATMs are having the hits below 75, and the viability of all these ATMs is challenged. Day in, day out, me and Mr. Pedgaonkar are listening to CATME on one side, the cash logistic agencies on the other side, and how do we really make the things happen. But this is because out of 380 million cards, 38 crore debit cards bazaar mein hai. How many cards are being used on the ATM? Why can't, see, 38 crore cards, 1,60,000 ATMs, you take 2 lakh. Just work out, why not each ATM have hits of 100 plus? When I used to set up ATM, the minimum requirement was 200 plus, am I right, Shiv Kumar? Well, the cost of ATM was 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs. Today you can set up ATM in 3 to 4 lakhs. Capex has come down. If Capex has come down, you need hardly about 75 to 100 cards to make it viable. It's still not happening. POS terminals are not expanding. ATM usage is not really growing. And it has thrown a challenge, and many of the ATMs under OPEX, I am told they are at a problem. Why I thought I must give you this perspective as the industry spokesperson. As a chief executive of IBA, I am an industry spokesperson. And when I say industry spokesperson, I cannot take care of only the bankers, I have to take care of the whole ecosystem. And these challenges, how can we really address, how can we really make the things simpler? If 90 crore population can use a mobile, why can't 38 crore account holders use a ATM? And I am not talking ATM only from perspective of cash out. Right from my days, I remember we thought of multiple usage of the ATM or the payment systems again. I don't know, pedagogy we must capture that the utilization of ATM, how much is on the cash out and how much is for the transfers, payments. I think we had kind of with the bill test those days and all that. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm remembering my days with Siva Kumar because he dragged me here. So, these are the challenges which you have to really look at. While total cards, because of the debit cards, seem to be very good, but again the credit cards. I got two philosophies which I would like to place before you, if you can discuss. One is on the usage of check, and one is on the usage of credit cards. See, in normal course, if I get a credit of 45 days, or maybe average 30 days in a cycle, because it depends when you are using it and when you are going to get billed. Still, I am not ready to use the credit cards. Why? I have no answer. I also don't use it. I also hardly use it. I say, I take a paisa pada hua, I thought, why not use a debit card and pay off. I would like this gathering to come out with the philosophy why there is an aversion to use a credit card and why the credit cards are not growing. I come from Central Bank of India as a former chairman, and I have put up this question to my people. Central Bank is the first public sector bank to introduce a credit card. Way back in 1980. The then chairman of the Central Bank used to be on the board of Mastercard Asia. And the total population may be 1 lakh cards in the bank. I think before my joining there was a view that why not we wind up, but then probably my predecessor decided when all others are doing, how do we wind up? And we tried to evolve and come back and try to see that, come on, let's reach to some respectable. Again, the whole business goes with 3 banks, that's all. Maybe 4 banks. State Bank of India is of course a great player. But no other public sector bank is a good player in this market at all. I don't know why. Please think over it when you are thinking of the various payment systems. And again, I think some kind of the comforts and facilitations may be a challenge. Second is the cash, the check. I was discussing with Mr. Padgaonkar, I think other day. Siva, did I discuss with you or somebody else? See, why I issue a check? Why I prefer issuing a check? Because I can issue a post-dated check. I can also request a customer, yaar abhi mat dalo, or you put it on that date only. I think that abhi mat dalo, that leverage, the comfort has gone. Banks have also lost that comfort of accommodating the customer. Your check has come, bring the cash and all that. Now in the check location, nobody will know when the check is put and all that. When all these comforts have gone, can we think of a comfort to a customer where he can give a value date credit? See, in the foreign exchange and international business, there is a possibility of giving a value date credit. And when you talk of a value date credit, there is a value date debit to the account. It's not that your account gets debited today and the credit passed on only on the day. But then the challenge is that if you are having this kind of thing, how do you develop a faith of a customer in the system? If I get a SWIFT message, now SWIFT India is going to be operational. Earlier, we were all waiting for SWIFT to come, download and all that. Now SWIFT India is going to be operational. Although we did not make best use of SFMS, which we introduced back in 2007. I am sure all of you are aware of all these things. You are all from technology. The participants are all from technology side. Some response. Anyway, whether you are all from banking, if I am not wrong. Thank you. In 2007, we introduced SFMS, and again I was the first bank to set the LC on the SFMS but the product didn't pick up. I'm still comfortable LC on SWIFT because I have no choice. All import-export LCs are issued only on SWIFT format. Everybody knows what is the parameters and everything, but when it comes to domestic, we are not able to do it. Now the SWIFT India is going to be operational soon, and it's high time we stop all manual LCs and all those things. So coming back to the check and the validating of the payments or the debits or the check, can it be thought? If I am able to make RTGS validate, if I am able to make the transfers validate, I think it is at par with it. Now your ECS failure has been given the legal support of section 138. Am I right? I remember when I was driving the cash management department, we used to go to all foreign banks. I'll handle your post-dated checks. I think post-dated checks are probably must have zeroed down in the system. I don't know whether we still are asking for a post-dated check in the bank, but all of us are asking for an ECS. And if the ECS fails, you have a right to file under section 138. Am I right, Mr. Tanksale? So under Negotiable Instrument Act, now the ECS is also put at par with the checks. Why not this kind of a product we thought of, and you give a comfort? That's how it is denied now. Well, I think I have given my enough thoughts and food for thought presentation. You can circulate to them, but it is a presentation which carries information and it's an information packed presentation, which I told that Mr. Tanksale has prepared in the late hours in the night and completed 251 in midnight. I think we'll have to really look at the ATM, the usage of ATM beyond the cash out. When you look at these numbers, you still find, as I explained to you, that the usage is really very, very dismal on the cards, on the POS terminals. So this debit card spending is growing as a natural function of the number of cards increased because of the reluctance of people to owe money. I mean, this is what I thought, why there is a reluctance to use a credit card, whereas it is not so in US. I think they all use only credit card, they don't use the debit card. So I think as a part of the ecosystem, in all technology conferences when I speak, I demand on the technology partners that please come out of beyond selling the product. Unless you also participate with the banker in promoting a product and creating a desired ecosystem in a society, I don't think that will achieve what we all want to achieve. And I think you are conducting such events is a part of that. And I'm very sure the user group will demand many things on you. So this is what we have already discussed. On credit cards, me and Mr. Tanksale have been debating that it is true, interchange is a pain. It is a pain for a customer, so he says, why not I pay cash? In any case, I get a cash from ATM free. I'll pay the cash to the shopkeeper, he is also happy, he gives me cash discount also. Although shopkeeper is in the cash, even on POS terminal, but he says, why should I pay the interchange? He doesn't know that his efforts on cash counting, his risk on counterfeits, his risk on carrying cash overnight in the shop, his risk of carrying cash to the bank next day morning. Can we think of anything which will be further allurement or incentive? I don't know if the cash credit, I mean, he is using cash credit facility. Can the credits go online, or if I swipe a card at 8 in the evening, it accounts get credited so that he says, at least I saved the interest. I don't know, but doctor, I mean, there are a number of things which can be thought of, but at least you think of something, why he should pay interest. One is you have to look at his cost, vis-a-vis what he is doing, if he is not doing, but somebody has to think of it and somebody has to take it forward. Mobile, I have told you that we introduced mobile telephone in 2008. Again, I go back to my days of GM transaction banking, and I remember me and Lalit Sinha, my colleague who was on mobile banking, we were mad that we should be the first, and we did it. But then drawing of application on the system, and with all that, when I checked up, I don't think that the mobile banking in the banking industry has grown. And now US is probably a big opportunity. So instead of number crunching, you all must have heard of the new initiative by Reserve Bank of India or the gyro payments, where today what happens that there is a kiosk for electricity bill. There is some other center for receiving something. And here it is being thought of whether you can have a sort of a collection center for all kind of payments. And this they would like to achieve through these two ideas, the Bharat Bill Payment Services and Bharat Bill Payment Operating Units. Is another good initiative going to be taken up. I am sure the Indian Bank Association have desired that the NPCI should start working on it and give the support to the bank industry. But you will need a lot of vendor support to really make this a great success. Ultimately, let me tell you, a product is successful when it gives a confidence and comfort to the person, the remitter as well as the receiver. I have always been saying, why RTGS and NEFT is being driven only from a remitter's perspective? Unless the beneficiary demands that I must get payment only through RTGS or NEFT, then only I will respond to you. There may not be compulsion on the remitter to remit the funds. See, whatever things have been made compulsory, interbank settlement, tax payments, they are all happening. But still, I feel that the banking industry is not driving the payment products from a perspective of a receiver who is the ultimate beneficiary of a payment. But we are driving, of course, you have to look at the comfort of a payer also. If payer doesn't have a comfort, he will go to some other product for his comfort. But it has, particularly RTGS and NEFT, let me tell you that in every bank wherever I was, two things I ensured. None of the employee will go to the bank's branch for drawing cash. There was a mandate, I don't know whether it is being maintained in the same sacrosanct fashion or not, but no employee is allowed to draw cash from the bank's branch. Second, all offices will make 100% electronic payments. I came to Indian Bank Association where I was made to write checks, sign checks. I said, I am giving you 3 months time. Let's move on. But there are a number of problems. There was double authorizations, there is that, security. I said, everything can get sorted out. But unfortunately, still the beneficiaries feel, maybe I am comfortable to get a check. Why? He's sure that he's getting a check and payment is in hand. But the moment you make sure that with the RTGS credit or NEFT credit, the mail or SMS goes to the account holder that your account is credited for this amount by so. Even today, despite entire technology at our hand, passbooks, when you see at the passbook, you can't make out who deposited and who paid, who is paid. Because again, the blame is on the individuals. Let me tell you, whatever technology you bring in, unless the people behind the show are tuned to do that. My own passbook, then I have to tell my PRA, pata kar lo jara, ye check kisko payment kiya hai. And again, like a 30-year-old banker, I write on the slip, ye check kisko issue kiya, ye check kisko issue kiya. Why should? When I am drawing a statement of account on my mobile, shouldn't I know that so and so has been paid for? But again, I think people, process, technology, these three things are exceedingly important. Make sure that the people, again I say that the people who are handling technology, the people who are going to use technology, are extremely important linkages to make all your efforts successful. I think you all know about the MORE committee. You all know that the Reserve Bank of India is absolutely comfortable to give the differentiate licensing, maybe for payment banks, because probably we, the banking industry, have not been able to deliver on inclusiveness what we really have to do. And again, this inclusion, let me tell you, on Sunday I was in one of the convocation in the business school called ITM, and one of my colleague, she was a retired Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. She said, "Tanksale साहब, अभी भी बैंक में अकाउंट खोलने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम है." I said, "मैडम, अब तो नहीं जाना चाहिए." नहीं, आपको शायद फ्रंट ऑफिस का पता नहीं होगा, आप चेयरमैन लेवल पे हैं. And let me tell you, this is a common answer. You are still nudging the customers on KYC, you are still nudging the customer on various things, and yes, I forgot to tell you yesterday's decision that we want to have every adult to have a banking account by 2016, as committed in the Nachiket MORE committee. We also want, yes, it should. How to make it happen? One more idea came to my mind, Mr. Petkar. Could there be kiosk for branch account opening outside the branch? Like many banks are now doing the centralized back office processing for account opening. But today the front offices in the branches are not in a position to attend to 10 customers coming from Dharavi. He will not be able to manage that. So you have a separate outfit straight away. I mean, again giving a food for thought, if you can think of something of that sort. I think I've taken enough of time. Big thank you for this opportunity. And as I said, I'm passionate about it, so at times I lose control on my timings. But I feel my responsibility to the banking industry, that if we really want to make things successful, please connect to the grassroots and try to make things as simple as possible, adaptable by the end users, whether they are own employees in the business verticals or others. Thank you very much, and wish all the best for the conference. Thank you.